Hey, fellow knights, welcome back to another video. So you guys remember the Kristen Bell Batman trilogy, right? That was considered to be the Dark Knight trilogy, created by um Christopher Nolan. I don't know why I have a brain for that about his name. And in my opinion, no matter how you feel about the third film, and I'm kind of going to say this in that say this point too, Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man trilogy, it's in a similar vein for me. The Kristen Bell, the Spider-Man Tobey Maguire Spider-Man trilogy for Spider-Man is the same for Kristen Bell's Batman for me. Kristen Bell's Dark Knight trilogy is the best Batman trilogy we got. Like I said, no matter how you feel about the third film. Again, I do feel the same way about Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire. The first two was great. The third one is a hit or miss for people. As much as I love that film, I'll admit that film was not as powerful as one or two. But to each their own. And I know some people weren't a huge fan of Dark Knight Rises. I was. It spoke to me as a kid. Anyways, it's sad what happened to Heath Ledger because I would have really loved to see what they would have done with his character being the Joker in The Dark Knight Rises if Joker was going to be in The Dark Knight Rises or if they were going to move on. Because in The Dark Knight Rises, the only character from that was a baddie that came back in memory. It's been a while since I've seen the trilogy, but in memory, the only baddie that was in all three films was Scarecrow. Not a Scarecrow per se, but he Jonathan Crane was still in there in all three movies. So why am I bringing up the Dark Knight and Heath Ledger? Well, because I saw this Geeks and Gamers article that said that there's a leaked Dark Knight video game storyboards that revealed scrapped tie-ins to the Dark Joker scene. So I'm interested. So, do you know that The Dark Knight, the second movie in the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy, was almost adapted as a video game? It's true. Like Batman Begins, the 2008 film that saw Kristen Bell's Batman face his arch nemesis, Heath Ledger's Joker, was going to have its own tie-in game, but it took too long to produce and wouldn't be ready to coincide with the movie's release on DVD, so it was scrapped. But newly leaked animated storyboards revealed what it would have been like. See, I know. Quick pause on that. I know for a while it was more so in the early 2000s. It was I want to say before 2010. Really, where pretty much all nerdy video games, whether it's Ninja Turtles, anybody from DC Comics, Marvel Comics, had a video game. Tron would probably have a most likely had a video game. I know there were a lot of those some of those Disney movies that had their own games too. We do live in a world where movies had their own games at one point. Batman Begins, like I said, was one of them. I'm kind of shocked that we didn't get a Dark Knight or Dark Knight Rises. Somewhat with Dark Knight Rises, because I think it was around the 2012-ish era was when that became lesser known. Granted that we had some movie-based games since then, Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. I don't know when Lego Lord of the Rings came out. I know we got Hogwarts Legacy, but that's a prequel, right? Point is, movie games are based off of movies. It's rare nowadays, if they still make it. Anyways, the storyboard for the Dark Knight video game was posted on Reddit, and there are 5 of them. The first detail it. The first details a particular dark scene in which two of the Joker's henchmen accost a woman, prompting Batman to try to save her. When he gets to the alley into which they dragged her, he is knocked out by a hidden gas bomb. The Joker ha- then takes on Batman's batarang and stabs the woman with it, presuming presumably framing Batman for her execution. What? What? So we aren't gonna get a okay. That's just wild, like that concept, but it does make sense for the Joker's character as a whole. Probably would be like the Joker's weird way of flirting with Batman. And I do wonder because I never played the Batman Begins game. Oof, that if they got like actors from the movie come to reprise their roles for their characters, or if they got like different guy people to do the voice acting. Oh man, they were Jesus on the motorbike. Okay, okay. I mean, yeah, that's like dark and twisted and somewhat brutal, but hotly Mamadeiras. Okay. The second, there's a second? Wait. Well, let's actually read what is the second. The second and third animated storyboards are simple meanings with between Batman and the Commissioner Gordon. Commissioner Gordon. Garrett Oldman in the movie, which were probably going to be cutscenes. The fourth, however, takes place at Arkham Asylum, or so it appears, with the Joker in a padded cell with watching the back signal painted the night sky. The Joker smiles and waves to it, then turns to a guard he just dispatched and paints his lifeless face with his bloody smile. See that part, I like, cause I know, like, wait, Batman Arkham Asylum came out in Batman Arkham Asylum. Was I wonder which year that came out? Oh, of course, release date. There you go. It came out. Well, that can't be right. It says 2023. They're talking about Return to Arkham. Okay, so it says it originally released in 2009. So okay, I for some reason I thought that Arkham Asylum came out a little bit before Arkham, like The Dark Knight, which I don't know why. Well, okay, because I was gonna make some sort of comment that I wonder like how much inspiration Dark Knight took from um Arkham Asylum, but now I am wondering from this scrapped game, how much inspiration did the Arkham Asylum game get from the scrapped Dark Knight game? That would be interesting to see. So it appears that the scene would have happened earlier in the game, mostly because the next and final storyboard, this one would have likely taken place at the very end of the game, maybe even in a mid-credit or post-credit sequence. In it, the Joker is shown with broken legs lying on a bed in Arkham Asylum. He once again sees the bat signal in the sky, though, through the bars, and once again he smiles, indicating that he will one day return to be Bed Devil to bedevil his favorite playmate. The final was, and see, I would have loved to have gotten that in the actual movie. And yeah, I would have loved to have seen the Joker to come back in the Dark Knight Rises. And I understand like why Christopher Nolan didn't. I'm not going like dog shit on like Christopher Nolan because he had a pretty good reason for not wanting to bring Joker back. Is from my understanding, out of respect for Heath Ledger's family and Heath Ledger, and to like outside of that, I can say it'd be pretty hard whoever like took on the mantle after Heath Ledger unfortunately passed away. That it would have been very hard to live up to Heath Ledger's legacy as the Joker because he set a really high bar. Like holy shit. anywho, the final animated storyboard from the Dark Knight video game brings to mind a passage from the novelization of the movie sequel, The Dark Knight Rises. I didn't even know The Dark Knight Rises had this novelization. Okay. A plot point of the film was that the inmates of Arkham Asylum had been moved to Blackgate Prison. But the book said that the only one remained, the Joker. In fact, the passage even allows for the possibility of the Joker had escaped, as no one truly knows if he's still in Arkham. The implications being that everyone is too scared to make sure he's still locked up. Dude. Dude. I can see that. I can see that. The cancellation on the Dark Knight video game calls in mind the video game based on the adventures, which also fell apart. Oh yeah, the one that Square Enix did. Unless they are going to are they talking about the 2012 version movie? Probably. No, they're talking about the 2012 Avengers movie. Okay, my bad. It's almost maddening to think that the tie-in based on two of the most beloved superhero movies of all time were allowed to simply disappear. The Dark Knight looks like it would have been a very interesting game, going to going to even darker places than the movie and expanding on the narrative. Would Batman have had to invade the police as he tried to clear his name? Would the finale have been different? The Joker didn't look like his legs were broken in the movie. Unfortunately, most of the origins of the Joker's scars we'll never know. Okay, to be fair, with the whole broken legs bit, Batman, like, I don't know. Batman could have like broken Joker's legs and just like left him there for hanging for the GCPD to get him after the whole like fairy incident, or when the police officers actually came to get Joker because they were so scared that he might try to like escape. They broke his legs to decrease the chance of him escaping Arkham and potentially killing them. And that could have been caught off screen because we technically never, after the final, like after the GCPD raid and after Batman left that to go help like save the Gordons from Two Face, we technically never seen Joker in a prison, like behind bars. We only seen him once in behind bars in the movie, but that was like what I'm talking about would have been like wait, like it would have been earlier in the film. It's like who knows? Maybe it's like one of the GCPD people like, oh you piece of shit, you killed one of the people I love. Boom, I'm breaking your legs. Who knows? Who knows? But man, that's like something. That's sad that we never got a Dark Knight game. I would have I would have loved for a Dark Knight game. To be honest, I would have tried to. If it existed, I would have like gladly like watched the cutscenes for that because like some of these concepts seem to be really interesting. And I understand time constraints, which is why like it was like as lengthy as it was. Which I wish someone would tell James Cameron that. Is it James Cameron, the dude who makes the Avatar films? Because the last two Avatar films were like 3 hours, and they should have been at least 30 minutes less, 30-40 minutes less, in my opinion. But anyways, what do you guys think? Would you guys would have loved to have had a Dark Knight game? Let me know in the comment section down below how I would. I'll talk to you fellow knights later. Later.